What is going on, everyone? It's Matt Deeks here with another video, and it is time for Week 7 Stratagem Guide. All right, so honestly, I wouldn't say it's the easiest one, but it's not the hardest, guys. Honestly, this is one of the easiest. One of the easiest stratagems, weekly stratagems in the so far in the game since it's been released. All right, honestly, this could be done with really any class, obviously outside of the sniper and the tactical, which we'll go into the battlefield conditions in a moment. But guys, honestly, we'll go into the class that I used and some classes that I think you should maybe avoid, even though they're not on the battlefield conditions, and some classes that might benefit you a little more. But we'll get into that in a second, guys. With that being said, let's get started on the battlefield conditions. So in our favor, we have Surgical Strike. So a perfect parry or block deals significant damage to an enemy, but the perfect parry block window is smaller. Now again, guys, there are perks that can extend that perk parry parry and block window in some classes. Some classes have that ability and some don't, so you can definitely augment that. You do feel it in the game. You notice that the parry windows are a lot smaller and less forgiving, but honestly, if you've played the game for any stretch of time and you're half decent, you should not have a problem with that. Going forward, guys, we have Bleary Sniper. So Sniper will have 50% less health, will deal 50% less damage to enemies, and will not be able to parry blockable attacks. And then we have Tactical Weakness. Tactical will have 50% less health, will deal 50% less damage to enemies, and will not be able to parry blockable attacks. With that being said, guys, let's get into what I think the best classes are, and obviously the least favorable classes, definitely outside of sniper and tactical, because those are obvious. All right, let's get into that right now. So the class that I used in order to beat this stratagem was Vanguard, and I'll show you the exact perks that I had in terms of my perk tree for the Vanguard. However, outside of tactical and sniper, which obviously you can't use this week unless you want an extreme challenge, right? What I recommend, honestly, is one of three: Assault, Vanguard, or Bulwark. Before we get into why I said that, let's get into why I don't recommend the heavy. So now, it can be done on heavy, and heavy is still absolutely amazing. However, heavy's parry ability is already limited. Your window is... You already feel hindered in terms of parrying on a heavy, at least in my experience, already as a heavy. So adding an additional battlefield condition where the parry window is even shorter, it gets even harder to parry or block as a heavy. So I don't recommend a heavy if you're going for maximum ease. Okay, now there are some things you can do if you want to run a heavy. If heavy is your main and you want to run it, you don't want to use anything else, I recommend pairing it with the Melta, only because it staggers enemies really well. So if you're not able to block or parry every attack and you're feeling overwhelmed, you can pop a multi-melta shot off and you can stagger that enemy, so it kind of cancels out their attack. So if you need to use the heavy, make sure you're using that multi-melta so you have that staggered ability, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, as for the other three, guys, Bulwark is great in every scenario outside of if there's a battlefield condition that affects the Bulwark. But guys, Bulwark self-explanatory. As for my weapons, I got the Power Sword, Fencing variant, to maximize those parries, those high damage parries. I got the Ophion Liberation Alpha Plasma Pistol. And then for my perk tree, guys, again, I won't go into detail too much. Some perks that I always have on as a Bulwark is one right here, Invigorating Icon. I also really like this one right here, so Armor Reinforcement. So non-finisher gun strikes restore 1 armor segment. That's a really big one. Pair that with this guy right here, Focus Restoration, where you get every 30 seconds you get armor. You really feel like you have unlimited armor. So that's very, very important. But guys, Bulwark is an amazing class. You can't go wrong with Bulwark overall. You pair that one with this one right here, guys, Defensive Mastery, where a perfectly timed parry or block instantly incapacitates a Majoris or Extremist, guys. That's really, really strong. And I really love that signature perk. So, but moving forward, guys, the Vanguard was the class that I chose to beat it. And for me, this was the perk tree that I chose. There are specific perks that I use that really benefited me. So number one was this one right here. So consecutive execution, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charge by 1. Whenever there is a perk on a class that has a equipment recharge ability, whether it's killing 5 enemies or 10 enemies, whatever it is, I will take that perk every day. The other perk that must be used for a Vanguard, in my opinion, in my experience, and at least for this stratagem, is Unmatched Zeal. So you're going to be facing a lot of extremists. It is like Absolute. So basically you're going to be facing a lot of extremists and terminus. So getting this Unmatched Zeal, where you get your health back by 30% for all extremists or terminus, is really beneficial. And lastly, guys, which is a really S tier perk in my opinion, guys, is Adrenaline Rush, okay? Melee kills of Majoris, not even Extremists, Majoris level or higher enemies restore 5% of your health. So you don't even need to wait for an Extremist, guys, or a Terminus. You can do this with Majoris, which are everywhere, right? They're just as high in numbers as Minoris, so or not as much, but they're plentiful. So you'll be able to restore your health very, very fast. Pair that with the Unmatched Seal, guys, and you're laughing. Okay, so those two perks really, really, really came in handy. Again, for assault, if you haven't seen my recent Xenophase Blade assault build, the damage on it is insane, especially with the ground pounds. And there are certain perks that you can use to create almost feeling like an infinite jump pack recharge. But if you want to check that video out in fuller detail, just go into my videos. One of the last videos, you'll see S tier Xenophase build. Check that out, guys. It's right there. Check it out. Really, really good video and a crazy solid build. But the reason I recommend this, guys, overall, it's a solid class. It's fun. You're going to be facing a lot of Minoris, so getting that ground pound, will really be beneficial against the hordes of Minoris and Majoris, okay? It's also very good at putting extremists in execution. But with that being said, guys, again, I chose the Vanguard for this specific opera or stratagem, all right? Anyways, hopefully this video was helpful for you. It is not a tough stratagem for this week, guys, so really you shouldn't have an issue in getting a victory. But anyways, I'll leave you on that. Let me know in the comments below what build you used, or if you haven't beaten it yet, let me know how many attempts so far it took you. But anyways, have a great one today. Really appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully week 8 will be just as fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.